Greetings, travelers. I'm Josh.
And I'm Kahi.
And we're
the
Genshin guys. Okay, always weird to do live. Welcome all. This podcast is for fans of Genshin Impact, the mobile game made by Hoyoverse, also known as MiHoYo. Here we talk about our opinions, experiences, and dreams about Genshin Impact. If you like our show, don't forget to subscribe on Apple Music, Spotify, wherever you are listening to the podcast. So, before we get started, Kahi, how are you doing today?
A lot of stuff happened this week. A lot of stuff happened this week. So a lot of home renovation and just home improvement stuff. Of course, I got my new computers. I had to kind of like
two new computers.
Yes, so I got like one little mini PC tower and one little Mac Mini, and they're hooked up to the same monitor. But everything plugs in well. Everything is nice and clean. I have more desk space, but apparently, just the microphone doesn't like to behave. So we'll figure that one out later. But as far as like the setup goes, the physical setup, it looks great. I think I sent you a picture.
Yeah,
I think I texted it to you. But ooh, man, I like how this new setup is. I just wish this microphone thing wasn't so weird. But that's another thing I'm going to be looking into getting. Maybe a new microphone, hopefully by Shure. Company gets a really good discount on Shure microphones, so I might have to get that. Yeah, just interesting new setup. A lot more extra space, a lot cleaner. What about you, Josh? How are you doing?
Good. I've been streaming a lot recently, and just trying to figure out some stuff for the podcast for the future. I did like some other stuff that I'm going to talk about a little bit later, and yeah, I mean, just generally all right, just hanging out. So yeah, I've been enjoying it. All right, cool. So, yeah, I just want to mention before we move on to today's topics that today is our live recording of the podcast. So, our main topic today will be a live discussion while we chat with everybody in the audience, everyone who is here. Thank you all for showing up. And I will still do my best to edit and upload the episode later for those of you that are unable to be at the live stream. So, don't worry if you were unable to join us today. That's totally fine. We will be uploading the episode later, so see you later. If you're listening to this, I mean, if you're not here, you're listening to the recording. So, thank you. Anyway, maybe you can catch our episode next time, because next time we'll hopefully do a earlier time that would be more accommodatable for our European audience. But of course, we love you. All of you guys are here. Thank you for your support. And let's have fun talking about Genshin stuff. Okay. Ready, Kahi?
As I'll ever be.
Okay. Well, yeah, you got this, Kahi. We got it. We're talking. We're fine. I get it. We guys, we had like a very stressful half an hour for the past half an hour trying to figure out this audio stuff while not being in the same room. So, thank you for your patience again. And in the future, we'll do our best to not have these kind of problems if possible. Okay, so let's talk about today's topics. I want to introduce our topics today, which is, of course, as always, my week in Genshin, our weeks in Genshin. And then we're going to talk about Genshin news, as well as our main discussion for the day, which is about making NPCs playable. We're going to talk about some ideas that we all have for turning our favorite NPC characters into playable characters, how they get a vision, what kind of abilities they'll have. So if you have any ideas, get those ready, because when we do our discussion with everybody in the chat, we're going to want to hear from you all. All right. So that's going to be our live discussion for the day. And then, of course, it wouldn't be a Genshin Guys live stream, especially a live podcast, without Kahi's Riddles and my Who's Voiceline segment. So we're going to do those two a little bit later. Fun game. I think most of you who have been listening to the podcast for a while now are very familiar with it. So let's have fun and do that a little bit later. And then at the end, of course, we're going to share our community discussion question and answers from last week's podcast question. And then we're going to go over and share our new question. But of course, we're not going to have you answer it this time, because that will be for our next episode. Okay, so thank you all for being here. We're going to go ahead and get started with our first topic, which is our weeks in Genshin. Boken da Boken! Okay, by the way, for those of you that don't know, Boken, what Bennett says there in Japanese is adventure! Like, it's adventure time, basically. So he says, adventure, adventure! So let's talk about our adventures in Genshin. Kahi, this week, how has Genshin Impact been for you?
So how Genshin has impacted me this week is it has given me some good opportunity to kind of upgrade my previous characters while I still wait for Dea. I am upgrading, of course, Lisa because of her event and her new outfit, which actually looks pretty good. But for some odd reason, I still find myself, gravitating back to her original. But I'm like swapping it out as I see fit. I do like green though, so I'm kind of conflicted. I mean, her outfit is kind of like a nice turquoise, maybe tealish green, but either one is good. I've been upgrading Lisa. I'm also been upgrading Layla and Yunjin because I made a new team. I call them the Sweepers, the Sweeper team. So I have Hazel.
The Sweepers.
Oh, you're gonna love this. So I have Hazel and Layla, Yunjin, and Noelle. Can you see how they're all sweepers?
Layla. Wait, one more time.
So I have Hazel, Layla, Yunjin, and Noelle. Can you see how they're all sweepers?
No, please explain your very off-meta team.
Okay, I love thematic teams. They're just funny. So Hazel, is wind, and he does like a lot of attacks with his legs. He does like a roundhouse kick, kind of a sweep the leg technique, and of course he has animal power, so he can just blow things away. Then you have Yunjin, whose counter attack is like a very wide area revolution, and she has like those little flags, kind of like dusters. And then you have Noelle, and Noelle is of course a maid, and
Of course.
and Layla, she's very very sweepy.
I see. See, that's what I thought you were going with because, like, I was like, wait, but the rest of the characters don't sleep. I was like, is he going for sleepy, like sleeper teams? Like, oh man,
It's a sleeper sweeper.
Sweeping sleepers, sweeping the nation. All right. I mean,
Makes
I heard
sense.
Noelle in there, but all right, Kahi. You know what? You do you. I'm not gonna say much more. Well, what else have you been up to?
Again, I was talking about setting up my old computers. This little mini gaming tower. So it's, what is it called? The Corsair One. The
Okay.
Corsair One. Okay, it's a tiny tower. It's not tiny, but like it's way smaller than those really huge PC boxes. I never wanted one of those. They take up way too much space, cause way too much noise. It's just clunky. And I can just I have this little Corsair One tower on my desk. It looks great. It looks fantastic. And with this, I can finally do like 4K gaming, 4K. And the moment I opened up
Woo.
Genshin, I first installed Destiny 2 and installed Genshin.
Of course you did.
Of course, that's my main game. But I have two main games technically. But I loaded up Genshin and I just started walking around. And I'm like, wow, this is noticeably better. I mean, Destiny 2 looks great, but Genshin is noticeably better on like higher scale, higher res textures and everything.
Yep. Like PlayStation 5 version is also like high res. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I think it's because of the edges and the outlines. I mean, the polygons are a little bit more pronounced. You don't see like cloth texture, but you see like sharp edges. So it's more striking, it's more vibrant. I just walked around Sumeru and I just started taking pictures, and I'm like, oh, this is my new wallpaper. Like 5 minutes later, oh my god, this is my new wallpaper. 5 minutes later, I'm going to like Inazuma just to try and find like all the shrines again with all the sakura trees, and I'm like, I spent like a good 3 hours one night just taking pictures unintentionally, just because I love how everything looked again. Noticeably better than my old one, so I'm really enjoying the graphics. But yeah, that's my week in Genshin, just enjoying the scenery, just enjoying some old characters. And I finally this is like earlier today actually, I finally found the pupae thing, the collectibles.
The things that like Alhaitham and stuff needs.
It's all in one tunnel.
Like, I mean, a lot of them are in one tunnel. Yes. A lot of them. No, there are, but they're like, there's most of them are in one big tunnel which has the boss in it.
Yeah. So I got like 20 out of there in one day. So I mean, I could probably have enough by the time Deo comes out. Because what do you think?
Oh, no problem.
You always need at least 120 or 130 of like your special currency things, your local
Mm,
specials, your local specialty
mm,
items.
mm.
Because I remember Zhongli had like 138
Well,
in order
look,
to get
look,
them.
Kai, if you, I had a friend help me with
Mhm.
Al Haitham on like the day I got him, and I leveled him to 90 that day. So I can help you with my 2 US accounts if you want to farm my things in one day, no
Oh, that'd be
problem.
lovely.
So don't worry
Yeah.
about it.
I like pre-farming though, because it gives me the good goals
Yeah.
while I'm waiting for the next big thing.
Yeah, yeah, sure.
All right, so that's pretty much been my week in Genshin, just setting everything up, just tidying everything up, sweeping through my new computer, my new game and environments to explore again, just rediscovering the game. What about you, Josh? What you been up to in Genshin?
Oh yeah. So some of you know because I posted it in the Discord, but I help support another podcast like Hoyoverse lore community called Coffee and Culture. And I got to interview one of the YouTube creators, Ashikai, and we just talked about Genshin lore for like 2 hours, and it was crazy. Like I had a co-host also, so it was me, Cipher, and and we were interviewing Ashikai, and it was crazy because I like really wanted to be prepared for discussion. And so I watched not only Ashikai's videos, but a lot of other videos for like like just hours and hours of lore videos. So I'm so much more up to date on a lot of different aspects of the lore, especially in regards to like the desert. And also theories that a lot of people have. So I watched a lot of lore videos to prepare. I explored the desert myself a little bit, especially the new area, right? The desert of Hadramaveth. And yeah, that was really fun. I also did the Lisa event. Well, I think did my thing just change?
Oh,
Hold
the
on.
lighting
Oh
outside
no, it didn't.
changed. Yeah, because the
Oh, I see.
teapot is still
Okay.
on a day and night cycle.
Okay, okay. So yeah, sorry about that. So I learned a lot about the lore, and then I did the Lisa event, which was super fun. Did you do the Lisa event, Kahi?
Yes, I did.
Oh yeah, you said you got that costume, right? Did you find Lisa talking to Kale outside of her hut?
I still didn't go over to that area because I wanted to try and get all the other world quests in the desert because there's actually some recurring world quests that keep popping up. So I'm trying to see if
Hmm.
we get any more references to the other people in there. So I'm just trying to
Well, I mean
keep my
that
eyes
was
open.
only available during the Lisa event, so it's gone now. Like she
Ah,
says,
okay.
I'm gonna go visit some child or something like in Gandaraville, and then you kind of can assume, oh, it's Kale because Kale like went there. And so if you go there, they're actually talking, and it's really great. And if you I forgot who it was. I think like Kazu or someone in the Discord was saying like if you scan Kale with Nahida, she says like, oh man, Amber's not here, how do I ask Lisa about Amber, because she's like such a huge fan
I
of Amber.
know. They're
Yeah,
besties.
so it's really cute. Yeah, so there's that like thing you can only do during the Lisa event. So if you haven't done it, you should check it out online. And then I started the new fighting event, which is pretty interesting.
Oh, I
Coming from
love
like
this
fighting game
event.
stuff, I really like it. I love countering stuff, and it feels really good. It kind of makes me wish like everybody just had a counter, but
Mhm.
then everybody wouldn't be Beto, and then
Yeah, Beto mains unite.
Beto mains. So yeah, that was fun. And then I this isn't really Genshin, but I played like a 6-hour stream the other day of the Honkai Star Rail closed beta, the
How is
final
it?
closed beta. It's so fun. Like I still like because action is more my thing most of the time. I'm still really really excited for Zenless Zone Zero, which is like their other Hoyo versus other action game. But Honkai Star Rail, of course, it's like directly tied to Honkai in more obvious ways than Genshin is, and like the graphics are great. The combat is definitely like your typical turn-based RPG, but it has some extra fun twists to it that make the game feel really nice. I feel like some fights um like like if you're not properly leveled, they take a long time, so you just like keep hearing the same voice lines over and over again when they're doing their ultimate abilities and stuff like that. It gets kind of old, so I'm not really sure. I'm gonna like keep playing it and keep giving my feedback to Hoiverse, and then also I will share in the podcast later for anyone interested. I mean, not podcast, in the Discord later for anyone interested. But yeah, so it's been really fun. I'm really enjoying it, and hope to be able to do more like beta stuff. And I am excited for the full release, and I think that anyone who plays Genshin and is interested in it will have a really easy time integrating, because Kahi, all of the menus are almost exactly the same. Like it's
That's
crazy.
a little
Like
weird. Okay.
they're like taking advantage of the fact that like people who play Genshin may try this game, and they are just making the menus super easy to navigate because they're just like the same as Genshin.
I know there's some
So,
direct references to Genshin. Like there's a Paimon reference too. I think I saw
oh
that
yeah,
online.
there's like a lot of it's a really interesting game. But yeah, they definitely reference the other games, and including Honkai and stuff. So yeah, so I've been doing that this week. It was pretty fun. But thank you all for who came to the stream. Thank you. Okay, so now that we've talked about our weeks in Genshin, let's talk about Genshin news.
I knew
Okay,
you
so
were gonna
that
do that.
so
I was
that
wondering
is
how we're gonna do those
Paimon.
little sound bites. Like
Yeah,
we're
yeah.
live recording.
So that one, Paimon is saying like is making fun of Venti for when Venti laughs to answering her like serious question, and she's like, "What are you laughing for?" So it was a really specific, really funny event that a lot of you in the community may know, but it's like kind of a meme, so it's pretty funny. Anyway, Genshin news. So on February 10th, first of all, birthdays. February 10th was Al Hytham's birthday. Woo! Woo! Al Hytham. I don't have him on this account, sad. But yeah, Al Hytham was his birthday. Of course, very nice art on the Twitter. And tomorrow is Valentine's Day, which means it's Beto's birthday.
Wait, is it
that
really?
means, Kahi. It really is. Beto's birthday is
Wow,
on
cool.
Valentine's Day. You didn't know that?
Well, I don't normally like celebrate
And you
like,
call
birthdays of
yourself a
fiction.
Beto main.
I'm not that much. Like, come on, remembering a fictional character's birthday—that's a little much.
All right, let me go tell. I'm gonna go tell Beto that you forgot her birthday.
Sure,
BRB.
go ahead.
BRB traveling to the Alcor.
We're close. We're on good terms already. I'm sure she'll forgive.
Oh yeah, let me just go outside your house real quick. She's there in the hot spring.
Right outside.
So we had that Hytham birthday. Beto birthday is actually tomorrow. Hu Tao and Yelan banner finally started, as well as the Staff of Homa and Aqua Simulacra banner. So for those of you interested in either of those two characters or their weapons, I know some of you have already started rolling for them and have started getting them. Some people have been really, really lucky, and some people have been not so lucky. But that is the nature of gacha games. So good luck to everyone that is interested in getting these characters. Kahi, are you trying to get any of these things, or you're just like pure saving up?
Pure saving, because anything I'm doing right now is just upgrading older characters, making good teams. I'm trying to make sure that I don't leave anyone too far behind, because even like Sucrose teams, even like my original Mondstadt crew, I'm trying to bring like everyone up to like current power rather than just leave them all behind. Because I guarantee you, like, there's going to be something that changes in like Fontaine that changes up how elements can interact. Just like how like Sumeru introduced Dendro, I have a feeling that they're going to be doing something kind of like that, where they change elemental interactions or just more interactions with that kind of stuff, possible buffs, but just making sure like they're always going to be useful. Because I have all 10 team slots taken up, and you know I kind of want to switch it up every now and then. I mean, I have all these characters, I might as well use them. Might as well find great reasons to use them and make them really powerful.
Yeah, I mean, that sounds like a really good plan. So no rolling on Hu Tao and Yelan banner. So by the way, Kaching, thanks for the cheer. I haven't really said, I just realized like I haven't had anyone cheer in a long time, so I'm like I have my really old cheer thing set up. So I'll fix that. I'll make it Genshin related a little bit later. Whoa, 94. Thank you so much. Look at that. Cheer, new cheer. Great. So yeah, so Hu Tao and Yelan banner started. There is a TikTok event challenge where you can win up to $5,000 US. So if you are interested in making TikToks and doing Genshin stuff, check out their information on Twitter. And we also have Hoyolab partnering with Prime Gaming for the Hu Tao and Yelan web event. So you can get some free Prima Gems. Check that out. More information as well on the Twitter. And not too much news, as we are probably all waiting for the next live stream to happen, which we are really excited for, because most likely they will show us Dea. That's what we're all hoping for. especially Kahi, right, Kahi?
Yes.
So yeah, so one more character to add to his hot spring in the back of his house here, which we'll show you later. And so there's something I just want to address really quickly. I don't want to go too deep into discussion or anything like that. I just want a quick reminder that there's a lot of stuff happening in the community right now. For those of you that have not heard or have kind of heard a little bit about it, I just want to remind you all that it's really important in this game, especially and really any game or any work of art, to separate the character from the people that portray them. There are sometimes things that happen where maybe for some reason or another, there is like voice actors, for example, that might not be very positively regarded in the community, and so because of that, we want to remember that our characters are not their voice actors and vice versa. So just remember to respect the art, and it's not the character's fault. So okay, anyway, so hey, thanks for the cheers, Alpha Laura, thank you. So yeah, so that's our Genshin news. Not too much. Like I said, we're basically waiting for the new live stream. And I kind of want to get started into our live discussion. What about you, Kahi? You ready to take us to the live discussion?
Yes, sir.
All right, let's go.
All right. So we are going to be talking about our first big topic, which is NPC upgrades to become playable. Still not too sure what I would call this, or like a NPC or a character evolution, or like so much like a upgrade, but just why are we even looking forward to like characters when they come out? Like why is it that it's always a hype when there's like a character banner? Like even if it's their first appearance, like everyone's still excited to some degree. So we're trying to dig into the details of why we look forward to these characters, what makes them desirable, and if there are characters that we have already met, what makes us want to play as them. Are they unique in some way? Are they unique in multiple ways? So we're going to be talking about some topics, and we'll just kind of have like an open discussion. We can always like bring up things here and there. We can recollect and reminisce about what all the characters we ran into before. But first big one I think is going to be the story justification, because yes, a character can technically pop out of nowhere, but there's always going to be some allusion or like some reference to them in the background that says yes, they do exist in the universe, and oh hey, look, suddenly they're here now. So there's build up, right? There's characters that we have been teased in like little books or little areas, or just by word of mouth from other characters from the time they were first mentioned by name, not just this mysterious figure who does this, mysterious figure who does that. Yeah, forbidden knowledge too, yes. Arcielo, the forbidden knowledge definitely helps with the hype. So let's talk about story justification. So the one that, of course, that's on everyone's mind currently, and hopefully is on everyone's mind, is Jet and Babel. So a little bit about this particular story. This is the second time an NPC had their own story continued, because I think the first one was with Tepe.
Oh wait, I want to mention something. No spoilers.
Okay.
Kahi, did you finish Jet's quest?
I did.
Okay, so wait, all the way to the end, right?
All the way to the end, yes. There's nothing else after.
Great. Her foes wage war waters or something like that, right?
Okay, wait.
The name of the quest.
Okay, I went through everything that related to Jet, and I even looked up the wiki to see what the last part of the quest line was, and I did that. So I don't know if there's like a specific thing you're wanting to talk about, or should we?
I mean, you just let like what happens between Jet and Babel in the end, right?
Okay, so here's the last thing I saw. The last thing I know is we helped. Can I say this, or should we reserve it?
Okay, so for those of you that have not completely finished all of the Jet and Babel quests, I recommend you mute for like a minute or something, because we're gonna talk about like I think at this point it's gonna be pure spoilers, but for those that haven't completely finished that quest yet, but if you're interested in the full story, we'll probably tackle it in the next episode of the podcast.
Okay.
We have a little more time to digest it, but because why I want to mention that is because like whatever you're about to say, if you have not finished the story quest, then it's gonna make like if you don't know what happens to Jet and Babel, then it's gonna be a kind of a tough argument to make about upgrading them to playable
that's
characters.
already kind of a giveaway. Okay, I have a feeling I know why you're saying it like that.
So you don't know what happens then?
Apparently not. So I'm missing something.
Okay.
Okay, we'll talk about that later on. But I just really
okay.
like
So guys, never mind. We're gonna skip Jet and Babel.
Okay.
And I don't wanna give anything away, but all I'm saying is that what happens to them, like what we know already happens to them, is very very important. So
okay.
I'm gonna just
I already have some
gonna
theories.
not. Yeah. I'm just gonna not. So okay, you guys don't have to worry. You guys don't have to leave. Don't have to mute. Just gonna say let's go ahead and skip that one for now.
All right. Well, because we've seen this, also I'll talk about what we've seen of them, not so much like where their story went. One of the reasons why they're just notable characters is because they actually have a story. They have so much time in the limelight. It is a pretty major quest. It's just as long as some of like the story quests, Archon quests. It does take a very long time. Yeah, a couple hours to complete. And it takes you through like all the areas of like this brand new desert, just like how it does like in Archon Quest. Hey, go to the city, the major hub, go find the Catherine. I mean, it's just as important because of how much it forces you to explore the world around those characters, to the point where it almost seems like the area itself was made for this side quest. Like this new section of the desert doesn't really relate to Nahida or Rukkhadevata. It doesn't really relate to King Deshret, not directly. It's just a big offshoot. So if this part of the desert did not exist, the Archon quest still makes sense. Everything else since the beginning of the patch makes sense. But they devoted a heck of a lot of resources just to making this area and story. So obviously the characters that it centers around are going to be incredibly important. Yeah, like what RCL is saying, I love having quests connected to the area. It gets you out exploring without feeling like a chore. Exactly. You have a reason to go through there because, you're trying to complete a quest. You're trying to unlock puzzles. You're getting rewards along the way. It's multiple incentives to go down this kind of direction rather than feeling like, oh, great, I have to. Technically, you don't have to do any of this. If people only wanted to come in for the Archon stories, they're done. It's been done for a while. All of these other things are just stories about other 5-star characters and some side characters. So the parallel is that the amount of effort that Hoyoverse is putting into making these characters for these side characters, not even playable characters, is just as much effort as 4-star or 5-star characters. So if we're going to have like a character that has an evolution or an upgrade, they have to have enough story and lore behind them and around them to kind of justify it. So, Josh, in your opinion, what kind of story or how much story or just what story related things should be attached to a character if they're going to be playable at all? Like based on what we've seen from all the other characters, like what's a story feature or something that they would need to have in order to make them justified? What do you think?
I mean, they kind of have to be going against something. Like when I think about random characters, okay, let's like think about Kuki Shinobu, for example. Like she was born into like a shrine maiden family, but she wanted to do her own thing, right? When you think about Arataki Ito, like he's perceived a certain way because he's an Oni, but actually he's like fighting against this whatever. And so like I think there's like there needs to be some kind of like where their place is in the world, like how they fit and what they want to do, and like when those things don't line up, they're kind of like I don't know, it breeds story, like it breeds growth, right? Like they have things that they're struggling with. So as far as like story, I mean, I don't know, some characters are kind of random, like Chung Yoon, like, and Xing Cho, like, you know, Xing Cho is like the son of a rich, you know, family. I don't know. I guess his thing is like his writing. So, but like a lot of these things, like you kind of find out later. So it's really interesting because you know we were playing for them as them for a while without really knowing too much about them, and then we like slowly started to learn more things about them.
Yeah, so like, there are characters that we've already ran into that seem like they didn't really have much, but apparently they were playable characters. Like one that comes to mind is um Diona. Like,
Oh yeah.
how does she fit into anything? I mean, I don't
Hmm.
understand. Like, it doesn't feel like she has an importance to like any character story, any story arc quest at all. She doesn't show up in any major cutscenes. She shows up in the story events, the limited events, and like holiday events, but it just doesn't feel like she needs to be so, I guess, involved in these stories. She just has her own thing going on, like what you said, like Chung Yun and Xing Shou. I mean, they're still a little bit more involved in other stories because they're also intertwined with a lot of other characters as well. Like Chung Yun is related to Shenhe. I mean, you know, Chung Yun came out first, but Shenhe is also very, very like close to the Adepti. RCLS says there was a quest where you get a free Diona. She wasn't connected to the event at all. Yeah, so
Yeah, they were just handing
weird.
them out because they had no reason to actually like,
Mm-hmm.
you know, no one wants Diona, but here you go, have one,
Mm-hmm.
free Diona.
I mean,
She's a good character though.
Who else comes to mind? I guess Rosaria, because same thing. Her whole character is supposed to be in the shadows, like it's supposed to be at night. You don't see her at all. She's not really in the limelight at all, and her character herself doesn't want to be.
Dude,
Yeah, she's a
Layla
playable
literally
character.
hasn't been in the story at all.
Layla too.
She
I
just
mean,
came out, like, and was in the
mhm.
Pokemon event, and then just doesn't even like have to do with anything actually.
you
She
know,
could
I,
have just not been in the event. Like they kind of just squeezed her in there.
I almost want to think that when they're developing these characters, they sometimes pick among the 4 stars at least, like who gets to be, you know, in the story, and sometimes if they can't, well, we made the character, have the character, but I guess we have to cut their part of the story out. It would make
Hmm.
sense that they should be involved in some capacity, but this is there like production limitations? Is there like game settings or game file size limitations? Like, who eventually decided, no, we don't need to have a character story for this person? Like, okay, well, can we put the character in here? Like, yeah, we'll just put it in there. It's hard to really see like the development process for these kind of things because obviously we have NPCs who have more story than most 4 stars, even 5 stars. Who's a 5 star that doesn't really have much story? Oh, 5 star with not much story.
5 star with not much story. I'm looking at the
Mm-hmm.
list right now.
See,
Eula, I guess, is one of them.
Eula?
Yeah, like
Well,
she could have much more story than she has currently in the game. Also, Chi-Chi. Chi-Chi actually doesn't have that much story.
oh yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
I was gonna say Mona, but she shows
I
up.
think Albedo has like one of the most. He had
Mm-hmm.
2 entire events. It was awesome, but they were limited. That's the crazy thing about this event. It's like it was a limited time event. There was 2 limited time events that were really important to understanding of Teyvat, and like you know Alice and Rhine daughter and like all this stuff about
Mm-hmm.
how Albedo was created and what his goal in the world is. But it was 2 limited time events, so you can't even play it if you want to. It's just crazy. Like there, if you wanted to right now learn about Albedo's lore in the game, you can't. There's no way to do it. You know.
I was also gonna say Hu Tao because she's been out of the picture for like over a year.
It's true.
I want to say even 2 years.
Yeah, I mean, basically since she came out.
Yeah,
The
that's like
last
almost two
the
years.
event was she was in Lantern, right? And she was like, "Hey, yo, it's been a while." Like, you know,
Yes,
she's like,
very
"Did you
very
forget
much.
about me or something?" Like, I mean, yeah, kind
Yes, we
of.
did.
Like,
Yeah, we did totally.
yeah.
Okay, so yeah, a place in the story. It has to be. something where your arrival is foretold, like a prophet, like prophetic, not just hey, suddenly Layla.
I mean,
um,
Ashael is right. Like, Nilu's story, like Nilu's part in the Sumeru Archon quest was kind of really small.
it
Like,
was.
she was important, but
Mhm.
she didn't know she was important, so it wasn't about her.
So
You know?
her role was important, but not her.
Yeah.
So her
Yeah.
role that she
Exactly. It's a
played was
weird
like
thing.
she was like the host of the dream. It could have
Mm-hmm.
been anyone, but apparently it was just
Exactly.
Neela. So it did not have to be her specifically. So like for everyone else, like Kazuha, it had to be Kazuha because he has a relation to this person who has a relation to this person, and it's all interconnected. Nilu is just like center of attention and is the dancer. Well, technically anyone could be kind of that character, right? Um, I look Goro for example, like his type of character,
Who?
Goro, the character
Who?
you're.
Who's that? Is that a character in Genshin Impact?
Oh right, yes, of course. See, that's my point. Like, they show up once, then never again,
I mean,
and
he
they
even has
serve
like
their
a whole
purpose.
hangout.
He has a hangout, but
Yeah, but
no
it
one
has nothing to do with
cares.
the story. Yeah,
No,
it's like a whole
oh,
side thing, right?
he's useful as a utility for Geo characters, but then apparently not too many people like Geo characters because they don't have any interaction. And no one likes Shields because Zhongli exists. It just you either have Zhongli or not. If you don't, you're gonna get a whole nother team. So story is incredibly important because it makes people care. It makes people care about a character. It makes people emotionally invested into the character, which will make them financially invested into a character.
Okay, so how does this tie into NPCs?
There are NPCs that have gotten this treatment that it's better than 4 and 5 stars. So when people pick up on that, they're going to start wanting those characters. Which now we can decide, okay, now that people are more invested in these characters, let's say whoever decides to upgrade some of them and say, yeah, remember that character you played with a long, long time ago? Well, they're back. They have a banner. Madam Ping. Good example, yes. When we first met Madam Ping, she was just like, random old grandma NPC character model. And then, this past event, we see her past. Suddenly, everyone is invested and interested into Madam Ping. Why is that, Josh? Why do you think that is?
Why is everyone interested in the Street Rambler?
Mm-hmm. Well, what's your guess? What's your wild guess?
Why is everyone interested in her? Because they gave her like a fancy new design.
Exactly. See?
Yeah.
And that's just cosmetic, purely cosmetic. We know her. We know what she's been through. She gave us the teapot, the younger version of Madam Ping. Yes. You know what I realized about what slowly over time, Hoyoverse has been doing? They have been making a lot of characters and their stories exist around 500 years ago. That's a recurring
Right.
number, right? Ever since what was the first time they said it? Well, I mean, you had when we were in Leeway, we had the first mention of the Dendro Archon, Rukadevata, like, oh, the new one was about 500 years old. Like, okay, 500 years. And then later on, we went to Inazuma, a lot of, ancient, shrine maidens and deities. They were a part of a war and part of this whole shogunate conglomerate civil war about 500 years ago. Oh, then we get to Sumeru. Oh, hey, King Deshret and Rukadevata and their whole about 500 years ago. Oh, the Adepti had this little war and battle in the chasm 500 years ago. That's a pretty distinct pattern. For there to be so many things that happened around 500 years ago, I think I said this like a long, long time ago. It's just like a weird crackpot theory. If they make a sequel to Genshin, it's going to be the past world or the old world. They have enough suggestions of characters that they could put into an old world pre-Mondstadt, pre-Teyvat Genshin world. That is completely plausible. Because if you're giving so much effort into putting so many things into a very specific time frame that long ago, when would you ever bring them up again? When are they Is this particular time only important because it is 500 years ago? Are we just gonna see a recollection of that event, or
I
are we
mean, there
just
was a
gonna learn
lot of
about it?
stuff. Like Genshin's timeline is like very, like I said, I watched a bunch of lore videos recently, right? So a lot of stuff, yes, like happened like 500 years ago. The Archon War happened like over 2,000 years ago, and then there's just like stuff that gets sprinkled after that. Um, yeah, it's really complicated, but I still think that I like looking at Honkai as an example, like the possibility of not a second game, but just like you log into Genshin and there's like a second mode. Like you just like go to I like imagine like at the login screen when you press start, instead of when you go through the door, instead of immediately coming here to this Teyvat, you get taken to like a selection screen where you go to like 500 years ago Teyvat and you play as like Lumine instead. And then you or like your opposite of your traveler, their sibling, and then you that's like technically a separate game. Like you're building a different team of characters, and maybe there's a mode where you can use all your characters, but you're when you play through the story, you're playing through like a different story within the same game, but it's totally different, as if it's a second game. Like Honkai has that, where you like click around on the menus and you're like playing through different like alternate realities and stuff. So I don't put it past them to like to be cleverly building up that setting like of like hundreds and hundreds of years ago when all this stuff happened, and then like actually just make you play through it eventually. So yeah, we'll see.
So yeah, they could. These guys, Hoyoverse, they've proven that they put a lot of stuff into a game and completely blow our minds each time. Every zone gets every more and more flushed out. Characters get, yeah, I guess, better and better or more unique over time. Arguable from a certain perspective, but they don't show any signs of slowing down. They want to keep this thing going. They want to add more. They want to like draw out all of their like story bits and lore. It just feels like such a waste if they bring up so many characters, named characters with such importance, just to be briefly mentioned and never mention them again. I mean, this is obviously this is going to take a long time, because back when we first met Zhongli, that's when we first heard about Guizhang. And then she's only now coming into the actual stories that we hear about, like front and center. Like she's now in promoted videos, animations. I mean, granted, it's still 2D animations, but who's to say they can't do that for Inazuma? Because when Inazuma came out, we had like 2D animations where you saw like A's and what is it?
A's friends,
yeah, her friends,
and Makoto, yeah.
Makoto. And let's not forget Mr. Baiju, who's been literally a character model in the game for this entire time. Yao Yao, yes, RCL, Yao Yao was teased for 2 years.
Yeah, the Yao Yao thing is weird though, because it's like they just released that one picture of Yao Yao and it's just like didn't ever talk about it. Like, and it was like only on the Japanese Twitter, I believe. So but, I honestly think it must have been like a mess up of some sort, because
I believe that. I believe that totally.
Yeah.
But what I'm noticing is I don't ever want to doubt, or I don't ever want to like lose hope that, hey, if they're going to actually draw them out and have a character model, it is more than likely going to be for a bigger reason than just having them appear on screen and just die. It's just weird.
I mean,
so
we don't
they're
know.
investing into it. Yeah, we could see the Yakshas again.
So basically, what you're saying is, so Hoyoverse has been putting a lot of work into like these NPC slash background story characters that we're never actually gonna meet, like all the other Yakshas in Xiao's team besides Xiao, and then Makoto's like, oh no, my controller died, and the other, oh no, hold on a second.
I'll be honest, I think my controller will die pretty soon too.
Oh no,
I haven't charged this thing in a very long time.
Right,
I can plug mine in at least.
Yeah, I'm gonna plug mine in. So basically, like these NPC characters are really, really like fancy designs, make you want to play them, and then all of a sudden you can't play them.
Hmm.
Not all of a sudden, but like you realize like, oh, there's all these nice characters that I can't play. Maybe they're working up for us to be able to play them eventually. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, because they're putting in work early to bring it up later on. So they don't want us to forget about it. It seems a little bit too suspicious,
It
or it
seems
seems
sus.
very, very sus. But yeah, the character models designs from visual standpoint, that's easier than creating an entire backstory interconnected with all the other characters. I would dare say takes a lot more thought and effort to weave them in to the story than just to create a character model.
Right.
So if you have both, now you have two things that leads me to believe that they should be playable. So I mean, I guess this last part, if you had a character that has a deep enough story interconnected with everything else, a an actual visual unique model for the character, and then you know their story and you know what kind of things they've done to, like, I guess, interact with everyone, and maybe even some combat, maybe fights and battles they've been through. All they need is unique abilities, and you literally have the character now. So I
Mm-hmm.
think, Jet and Babel, these are the two that I want to bring up, or Madam Ping even. Jet, Babel, Madam Ping, like they all they've suggested a style that of combat that they have. Jet is based off of NPCs that have those, two little daggers that spin around a lot. The hydro daggers. Babel is literally in the 3.4 or 3.3 teaser trailer where she summons like an actual like pyro falcon.
Okay.
Madam Ping has I think she's animal related, because
I mean, we have no idea,
coloration.
right?
It just looked like it from the video, but like you have suggestions like of what they could,
Scaramouche used
of
to be
how they combat.
red. Scaramouche used to be
Oh,
red
that's
and blue.
right. Oh,
You
you're
never
right. I
know.
remember.
Seriously, you
Mhm.
never know.
I mean, they could still be in development.
Yeah, true.
Okay. Okay. Let's see. If I guess we'll start off with Madam Ping. So, if Madam Ping, based on what you know, if Madam Ping had an elemental affiliation, what do you think it would be? I was thinking.
By the way, Kahi, are you like talking? Are you like moving away from your mic? Cause like it cuts off sometimes.
Well, a little bit, but like I'm right here again.
Yeah.
Does it sound okay?
Yeah, it's good. It's good. So, Madam Ping. I mean, I guess I would have to say, um, Wind also like Animo because of just like music. Like the music thing is her thing, so I feel like that goes hand in hand. Venti's a bard. Music on Wind makes sense.
Cloud Retainer.
Yes, we need a
If I had to
cloud
choose,
retainer.
I don't know though. If I had to choose between Cloud, I don't know if I would want Cloud Retainer more than Madam Ping. Like if we had to go like original state, like original version, Cloud
Mm-hmm.
Retainer just seems we've never had like Cloud Retainer's type of personality in the game yet. Like the kind of like braggadocious or like, I don't know, arrogant kind of like know-it-all with the
Cloud
glasses.
retainer?
Yeah,
We haven't had.
a character like that,
Yeah, so
like
is
with
that
that kind
good
of
then?
personality. Yeah, so I mean, from that perspective, yes, it would make sense why they would bring her in. But if I had to pick, I mean, I do kind of like how Madam Ping just has uh, more prominence in the story. I know like Cloud Retainer is more. She's important too. I mean, she's like one of like the forest gods, adepti. But that's a tough decision if I had to pick only one of them.
I pick cloud retainer because she looks kind of like
I
Bayonetta.
know. Yeah, I guess so. But man,
Yeah, I could imagine her just having two guns that she created because she's like she crafts things, so like maybe she would just make like Fontaine-esque like steampunk guns for combat. I don't know.
I mean, they could just build that. They could literally handheld.
Wait, what? Kahi, you're cutting off. You're cutting off. What's up? What's
They
happening?
could make her have like a mini ballista from
A
Guizhou.
mini ballista. Okay.
Yeah, like a little crossbow. Like a little crossbow.
I guess so.
Something reminiscent.
I guess so.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, just stay close to your mic, okay?
Yeah, I'll try to be a little bit closer. Can you hear me okay though?
Yeah, it's good.
All right. But
okay, so yeah, Madam Ping, Cloud Retainer.
Yeah, the only thing that's missing to this little formula is story, unique character design, and some combat capabilities, some abilities. Here's an exception though. A person who's had like all this kind of like all this story, all this unique character, something unique about them in particular. I don't know why I put this in the note, but I put it down because I was just doing some research on past characters we interacted with. Do you remember Neko?
Yeah, how do I forget Neko? I did all the dailies all the time.
Yeah, see, doesn't have a human character model, kind of like, Cloud Retainer, kind of like that. But apparently, she has been alive as long as 500 years. So she has been at that shrine since the previous one, Asase Hibiki.
Right.
Her
shrine. And the maiden.
And what was the other guy's name? Started with a D.
I don't know.
Can't remember. But she that shrine maiden was the one that unleashed the lightning manifestation and made that storm. So she knows someone who has really good combat ability and has persisted since then. So she's intertwined with a lot of story. It's not so much that she has like a long story, but you have very frequent run-ins with this character. So we have we only have Diona as like a cat-like character. I don't think there was any suggestion of anyone else who had like a cat-like appearance. Do you know of any?
Not that I can think of.
No, because everyone thought Kaching, but I mean, I could see it, but maybe it's not.
She's not a cat.
Yeah. If we had to get like another cat person, I would assume it could be this one. It most likely could be. No, like they could give like Neko a humanoid appearance. If they're doing that to Cloud Retainer, if they're doing that to like Adepti.
Okay, here's the other thing that might just break your whole argument.
Okay.
Like they might just they kind of just also need memorable NPCs. Like they can't all become eventually playable, right? Like
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
We gotta have interesting NPCs. Like I think it's a stretch to say they could give this cat who's always been a cat for 500 years a humanoid appearance randomly. Like the Adepti are different, but
true.
Like Neko is a cat. I think she's always been a cat.
Well, then I guess what I'm trying to like lead to, if you have characters meet this formula, like really good story justification, like they have stories about like their
story justification. Okay, yeah,
story justification. Sorry, if you have characters that already have deep connection to a lot of other characters and the story, if you already have characters that have a unique model, either suggested or just unique already, and they have been known to have combat ability or combat prowess of some sort, that could narrow down or could be a focus of a potentially useful, potentially playable character. That's why I just keep hoping I see more of Jet and Babel, but obviously I did get to the end of it, so I need to just keep doing more research and finding out which quest lines to go down, because you obviously have seen it. I don't know how. I can't find any other quest to follow, so I can't wait to finish that one.
If you can't find it, like where to go.
Yeah, I need to do that, but
without spoiling.
Well, without spoiling, Josh, is there like a character that you remember from like way a long time ago, even before like Sumeru, that you thought, hey, this would be a good playable character? Did you ever think that?
I don't know about like there was one character, there's one NPC that I thought was like super really interesting that made me like a certain place. So there was an event for Enkanomiya called the Three Realms Gateway Offering. And I don't know, did you do that event? Do you remember that?
The Three Realms Offering. Are you talking about like the
So
one little shrine at the cliff that we had to talk to?
I don't know
Or
about the
something
cliff,
else?
but
Okay.
I think I don't know. It's like so I remember that around the time that Enkanomiya came out, I was kind of getting like slow, like the game was slow for me. And I wasn't like super into exploring Enkanomiya. I was like, oh, I have to do this like day night puzzle, and I have to like go to island, and I have to do all this stuff. And I was kind of not into it. But then I started doing the event that happened after Enkanomiya came out, and it was like this event where like the map was covered in darkness, and you had to like slowly repel the darkness. Did you do that?
I think I remember that, but
Okay,
ooh,
so
it
did
sounds
anybody
like
here do that
something else.
event?
Hmm.
So basically, there was an NPC called Sumi, like Tsumi, and she was, like the snake masked shrine maiden, and she was like a shrine maiden wearing a blue robe, and she has like a creepy face mask, and
Oh, now I
this
remember her. Yeah, I remember
yeah,
that
and
now.
so like this story tells you all about Enkanomiya and how they worship the serpent god Orobashi, the one that Raiden A killed with killed on Taratsuna, like just like its body is there, you know, like the serpent's head place. That's the giant snake that was like their god. And it talks about the history of the Vishaps and how they come from the void, and they talk about all this stuff. And it was like a super interesting event, which like I think largely went untalked about in a lot of ways, but it was like a really big deal in terms of like the game's lore and the history of Enkanomiya. Because okay, I don't want to get into this like too much right now. Maybe we can talk about this later. But like a long time ago, Enkanomiya was part of the surface, and it fell from the surface. And when it was part of the surface, it was actually part of a unified nation. So Teyvat used to be one unified nation, and it broke apart, and a bunch of stuff happened. And Enkanomiya was actually originally part of that nation, and then they fell to the ground during the Archon War or before the Archon War. I don't remember. And so like a lot of interesting story stuff kind of comes to play when we talk about Enkanomiya. And so I yeah, like I remember this NPC and this story because it made me really interested in Enkanomiya. And I was like, "Oh my gosh, this is so cool." I was like, they were like talking about the half snake race of people that were like descended from the servants of Orobashi, and like how this snake
Yeah,
shrine maiden was like
she had
actually
snake
one.
eyes, didn't she?
Yeah, like
She
the
was
whole
just
time
trying
she's
to hide
like
it.
alluding to it. Yeah, and she was like helping people, but you know she was keeping the mask so people didn't see her eyes, and it was really interesting. So I really liked that quest, and I thought it would be really cool to have like a snake person playable. I was like, I wonder what this character would be like if you know they were more powerful. So I don't know. That was the thing that's just like an NPC that really stuck out to me. I don't know if it's like playing, you know, if she gets a vision, what would she be like worthy? But it's just one that stuck out to me, like had big story ties.
That actually would make a really good character. I don't think we sneak like personalities or characters or visually, but I would assume why. I could assume they didn't want that kind of, I guess, theme yet, because you know snakes do relate so heavily to like the abyss, the ancient, you know, disasters. Um, let's see, the blind girl in Mondstadt that gets her vision. From her vision, I think that she has a boring name like Anne, or is it Glory? I think it was Glory.
I think it's Glory.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about. She has a vision.
No,
No.
like if an NPC were to get their vision, and it would be
Mhm.
like this girl who like can't see gets a vision,
Mhm.
it'd be like kind of ironic. I think that's what they're saying.
Well, here's the thing. I know we don't know how every single person got their vision, and probably some people have dissected the lore and figured it out. But I remember, I think it was Sucrose. Her vision just appeared. Like she wasn't doing anything. She was just, I think she was cooking or like doing an
She
experiment
was
and
just
just,
chilling.
yeah, she just now has a vision. I don't remember exactly how it went down, but I just got one. No one showed up. No heavenly like cloud appeared and just dropped it. It's just there. It is. It's it's very weird. But yeah. So if anyone we're gonna get a vision, I would hope it's for a reason. So a lot of these NPCs, they are definitely worthy. They definitely look like they
Wait,
are supposed to have
ready?
one.
Ready?
But
It was on an afternoon just like any other that Sucrose received her vision. Ready to begin her 159th dandelion seed simmering experiment, she poured her carefully crafted alchemical solution into the cauldron. Instantly, the cauldron hit boiling point, and the entire room was filled with steam. Sucrose rushed to the cauldron, anxious to see what new transmutation had occurred this time. In her excitement, she even burned both of her hands on the tip of the cauldron, on the lip of the cauldron. Much to her disappointment, however, the dandelion seeds had once again burnt to a crisp. But there was something new there, too. Lying there, amidst the black dandelion seeds, was a vision.
oh my
And yet,
god.
rather than pouring out the liquid and taking her vision, she first thought for a moment and then lit the fire up again to continue simmering the contents of the cauldron. She was curious to know what further reactions might occur between dandelion seeds and a vision. Sadly, the experiment ended in failure after 3 hours of constant simmering. Still, there was no denying that she had reaped a great reward from this experiment, for the elemental energy provided by her vision would become her single greatest asset in her future bioalchemical endeavors.
That's
That is
hilarious.
so funny.
Mhm.
So, like, it's important to remember that anybody who gets a vision is able to ascend to godhood in Celestia. Okay, so visions are a big deal. There's a reason why, like, people are like, "Oh, you're a vision user," blah blah blah. She like tried to cook it. Like, it's just so funny to me. Oh, that's so good.
So I guess we could end on it doesn't really matter how entwined in the story they are or if they have any significant. Hoyoverse would just decide, you know what? Let's just make this a playable character. You know what? Let's just give her a vision. We don't have to put some backstory. We just need a character. They need to look cool. They need to look cute. They need to look hot. And let's just, slap a vision on them and call it a day. At the end of the day, that could just be all they do. That's how they decide on characters. Whether it's story first, then character, or character, then story, I don't know. But it seems that there is a formula that a lot of people look at. They want to see a character has, cool, unique character model and say, hey, that could be a playable character. And then suddenly they find out, wait, that character has a really nice, cool story. Hey, that could be a playable character. And then they figure out, yeah, they actually do know how to fight. They do know how to, carry themselves in battle. Yeah, why can't this person fight with us? There is somewhat of a formula. I just don't know if we know Hoyoverse's formula, but I do know that that's what people kind of look forward to. But other than those three, is there like something that you would want to like have in your character? The money formula, yeah. Well, like what would you add as like a character needs to have to say yes, this is good, this should be playable? What about, is there something we
I mean,
mentioned
like, did
already?
you just say that it doesn't matter? Like,
Well, wait,
like they could
it
just do
doesn't
whatever
matter
they
because
want. They could,
Hoyoverse
like,
has their own formula.
oh, I see what you mean.
If you had to choose, like, what's something that you had to put into the character to make
Hey,
them
Kahi,
stay?
is your like talking threshold like really low or something? Like,
I
why
could
it
check
keeps
that real
cutting
quick.
off?
Hold on.
Yeah, I think you can just like
This
make it a little
one
more
again.
open, because I think, yeah, because it like randomly cuts off more like at the ends of your sentences, like yeah, like it's like you're moving away or something. Does anybody have any NPCs that they want to see playable for any specific reason? And like, what vision do you think they would
Check.
use or anything like that? Let us know in the chat. In the chat. A good story helps. The fact that I care about Jet more than Diona. Yeah, see,
Yeah,
that's the thing, right?
there you go.
Like,
There it is.
that's kind of the basis of this conversation for Kahi, I believe. It just Why do I care more about Jet than 90% of the playable characters?
Catherine would be funny.
Catherine. Oh my god. You know, like I have like this suspicion that Catherine will eventually be playable, and also I have the suspicion that because of what recently just happened in Honkai, that Paimon will eventually be playable too, as long as there are no story repercussions. So
I'll be honest, I kind of hope not.
yeah.
I hope.
I mean, it won't be
isn't
Paimon the way
playable.
she is. Like she'll be like a different version of herself, like a bigger playable version of herself.
The unknown god version.
Yeah, why not? She can fly around like Scaramouche.
Yeah, okay. Well, that's pretty much what we wanted to talk. What would it take upgrading NPC? Why are people interested in this character rather than the actual playable?
Hey, Kahi, you're cutting off a lot.
Well, I guess all we're looking at is these are things that people like. People are willing to spend money on them if they do that, if they have these things. I am actually more compelled, more willing to spend money on a character like Jet rather than a character like Diona or Layla. I wouldn't really care if
It's
Jet
okay,
was
you
a
don't have to.
4-star.
They're free.
I know, but like if
Even if Jet was a 4-star, that'd be cool.
yeah, I mean when Rosaria came out, she looked really cool. When Hazel came out, he looked really cool.
Oh my god, Hazel's still cool.
He's still cool. Okay. But you know it's also really cool?
What's cool?
Voice lines. Imagine if we had like a thing where
smooth.
We just...
Very smooth.
What a segue.
Very smooth. Woo! Kahi, everyone. He'll be here all week.
Yeah,
so I'm guessing we're gonna transition over to voice line.
Hey, we're doing it live. No pre-recorded.
Okay, so I'll just edit this part in post. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, guys. So thank you for participating in the discussion. Feel free to talk more in the chat while we are talking. We might read it. We might not read it out loud, just depending on what's happening. But we're always willing to carry these kind of discussions. If you have more thoughts or anything like that in the Discord or on Twitter or anywhere else, let us know, and we'll be happy to swap thoughts and ideas and stories as well. So thank you, everyone. We're going to be moving on to the next segment, which is Whose Voice Line? A segment that I think many of you are familiar with, but if you are not, then I will do the intro. Welcome to Whose Voice Line, a segment where I will be sharing some voice lines from the different official voiceover dubs found in the game. I want to do this segment because I love the voice acting, the voice artists, and I feel like this is a great chance to give some recognition for the hard work that they do. And this is the format. I will share 3 voice lines from one character in each of the 4 languages: English, Japanese, Korean, and Chinese, in that order. And then I'll give you some time to think. Feel free to pause the podcast if you really want some time to think. You can't do that because this is live, so don't do that. And then I will have Kahi guess, and then I will reveal the answer. Yes. So, all right, guys, get ready to do Whose Voice Line. And okay. So I want to ask you all a favor, and do not immediately post your answers in the chat. When I say to guess, then everyone, I will tell you when to post your answers in the chat. Okay? And what I want you to do is I will give you some time to get your answer ready, and then I want everyone to hit send at the same time. Okay? And I'm going to do that before Kahi reveals his answer, and Kahi will not be looking at the chat. That is correct, right, Kahi?
That is correct.
Okay, great. So, Kahi, please do not look at the chat as I get the voice lines ready. Kahi, can you talk real quick? Okay, Kahi's not coming through. Let me add this thing over here. One second, Kahi. Okay, talk right now.
Okay, so if you... Okay,
yes,
based on whatever settings you have, it sounds okay. Or as okay as it can perfect. Be.
Yeah, no, it's great. Okay, so I'm going to get ready here. Let me just stop the background music, the very light background music we have going on here. And I will get the game ready. Okay. So I'm gonna have to switch to my other account because I don't have all the characters on this account. So BRB. And so remember, we will be guessing the voice lines. Remember, do not type your answers in the chat right away, as I will be guiding you all when to type your answers in the box and then when to hit send. Okay? Okay. So I want to keep it quiet because I want everyone to be able to hear the voice lines. Oh, Kahi, I'm gonna need you to do me a favor though. Don't go on the don't look at the chat, but use the stream to listen to the voices.
Oh, okay. I'll just close chat.
Okay.
Alright.
Good.
Oh, there's gonna be a little bit of a delay, so I'm gonna be hearing stream audio.
Correct. You're gonna hear the stream audio. You're gonna hear me twice, or you can mute me and then you can just listen to the stream and then you can talk through Discord normally. Okay.
Okay. So how it's gonna go is you're gonna ask me in Discord, and then when you finish the question, I'll unmute the stream so I can hear.
Yeah. Correct.
Alrighty.
Or you could just keep me muted on Discord and then just listen to the stream. That's it. Okay.
Okay, might be like a weird long. So
yeah.
we're just talking in turn.
Okay. I'm gonna prepare the first one. Okay, so I'm gonna play some voice lines from a character, and I would love for you all to guess who it is. So remember, do not post your answer in the chat just yet. Just get ready until I play the third voice line, okay? Ready, everyone?
Ready.
Okay, here's the first one.
It is unwise to waste the precious morning hours. Time to train.
Okay, that's the first one. And the second one.
I like listening to Tea Master Liu's stories. His narration really brings the hair-raising tales of the supernatural to life. Why not come with me sometime?
And the last one.
Oh no. Did you put Jueyun chilies in this?
Okay, so everyone, get your answers. Type it in the box. Think about it. When I do the 3, 2, 1, then I'm gonna ask you to hit send. Okay, Kahi, you're not looking at the answers, correct? At the chat, correct?
I do not see chat.
Okay, everybody ready? Type your answers in the box, and 3, 2, 1, send. Okay, so Kahi, who do you think it is?
Okay, so I think the Julian chili was the recently someone doesn't really like that. At first I thought it was Razor, but I don't think Razor has ever come into contact with Julian chilies. So I'm gonna say Chongyun.
Is that your final answer?
I'm gonna say yeah.
Okay, the chat said Chongyun. Chongyun and Xiao are the only two answers I got in the chat. And the answer is?
My name is Chongyun. My family has practiced the art of exorcism in Liyue for many
There we go.
generations.
Nice. Hey, congratulations. Woo! Okay, audio levels are lower than mine. Okay, I will turn them up. I wasn't sure how loud they were, but let's go ahead and change that right now. Okay, great. So, great job, Kahi. You got the first one. Let's move on to the second one. And people in chat, I see Void and Kaching. Let's do the next one. Let's do Japanese. Okay. Everybody ready? Kahi, ready?
Ready.
打獣を見たい？もちろん問題ありませんの。好きなだけ見てくれて構いませんわ。ただし、入場料はこちらになりますの。うふうふふ。
I think everyone knows, but I'm gonna play two more.
以前も
Oh,
村を
we
払わ
know
ずに
this
踏み
one,
倒そうとした
don't we
おバ
all?
カさんがいましたの。まったく、私を誰だと思っているのでしょう。さて、彼らの結末がどうなったか、当ててみませんか？スメールで旅をしますの？スメールの砂漠は危険ですので、
Okay, so everyone, get ready to type who you think it is, and just send it. Just send it, guys. Okay, Kahi, who do you think it is?
This is your favorite character. This is Dory.
This is my literal least favorite character, for those who don't know. Yes, that's correct. It is Dory. For those of you that play the game in Japanese or have heard the Japanese voices before, it is Dory, and you can tell it is her because she's crazy about money and she talks like the way she talks, like you just heard. So, yeah, it's up there. Mora, Mora, Mora. But yeah, great job to everyone that guessed it. Thank you all. Kahi, great job. All right, so now let's do Korean. Love Korean. It's so difficult. If you know a little bit of Korean, it might be a little easier for you, but let's find out. Okay, ready?
Ready.
점심시간이 됐구나. 신의 눈은 말이지. 그건 원소의 힘을 인도하는 필수 장치잖아. 네 몸에서만은 예외지만. 대체 무슨 원리일까? 아, 그래 너. 이 누님과 함께 실험하지 않을래? 2층 신문실을 2년째 방치하고 있어. 내가 원소 공방으로 썼으면 그렇게 황폐해지진 않았을 텐데. 하르타 아가씨도 진짜 고집불통이야.
Okay, I'll give everyone a second to think about it. And everyone get your answers ready in chat. And 3, 2, 1, send it. Okay, I see a lot of varied answers in the chat. Kahi, who do you think it is?
I think this is Yaimiko.
And why do you say that?
So one of the reasons why I'm thinking is Yaimiko is speaking, I think, a little faster than Lisa, even though...
Oh, Kahi, you're cutting off a lot. Start over.
Okay, so the reason why I think it's Yaimiko is because she talks a little bit faster than how Lisa normally talks. Lisa talks slower. This Yaimiko sounds a little bit more energetic, like she's like more plotting, more like conniving. Lisa just sounds like very, just more casual, more laid back, like she's playing around a lot. I think I'm leaning towards Yaimiko.
Okay, so are you sure? Do you want to hear another voice line, or is that your final answer?
I'm going to stick with Yaimiko because I'm close either way.
Okay, so Kahi did Yaimiko. Here is, maybe you can get it from her introduction.
귀염둥이 안녕. 새로운 조수인가? 마법사? 그건 아주 오래전 일이야. 지금의 난 도서관 사사일 뿐이라고. 걱정 마. 잘...
She doesn't say her name. Okay, so it is a lot of different people in the chat saying things, but we got Shunha, we got Raiden, we got sounds like an Electro Mommy, but which one? We got Ningguang maybe Mona, Beidou as a complete guess, but it is actually Lisa. So yeah.
Oh, it is Lisa. Okay, so that was really close.
Yeah, it might be like, it's so funny. I love that what Amel said. Like, sounds like an Electro Mommy, but which one? Like Yaimiko or Lisa.
There's so many.
So good. There's so many. That's why I'm in Electro Supremacy. But yeah, Ara. I wonder if they do that in if she does it in Korean. I don't know if that's a thing. Anyway, that was a good one. There's so many characters whose voice it could be, right? But nice guess. It was very close. Okay. So let's do the last one. Chinese, okay? You ready?
You're ready when you are.
肚子饿了，又不敢再去晨曦酒庄蹭饭。啊，是你呀？要出门吗？带我一个呗。
Okay, and another one.
夜风凉爽，是适合成为神的使徒的天气。那么事不宜迟，快来向我献上供奉吧。
And the last one.
去跟迪卢克老爷处好关系吧。你想，他家可是有好多珍藏的酒啊。啊，无论如何不准喝酒嘛。那就去闻一闻吧，闻一闻。只是闻的话，你也可以哦。
Okay, I'll give you all a second to think about it. Okay, get ready to type your answers in the chat. And 3, 2, 1, guess. Let me see the chat answers. Okay, interesting answer. Good one. Good answer. Oh, okay. Similar thought. Oh, okay, interesting. Okay, anti everyone else's answers. Got it. Okay, Kahi, what do you think?
Ooh, this is tough. She sounds way too energetic for most of the characters. Oh, wait a second. That would make sense.
You're not looking at the chat, right?
Faruzan.
Okay, why do you say that?
No, I'm not looking at chat. Okay, so hold on. So the reason why I say Faruzan is because she does sound, like she carries an elderly. She sounds like a much. She's talking fast, but then she has those where she's confused or flustered. I remember Faruzan has a title where she's trying to think and she becomes like all confused about something. So she has a bit of a attitude, but also carries like a mature presence, but also gets, flustered very easily. So I'm going to say Faruzan.
Is that your final answer? Do you want to hear another line?
Final answer. I'm going to stick with Faruzan.
Okay. So in the chat, we got Ganyu, not Ganyu, Ningguang, Layla, Hot Take, Yanfei. But actually, everyone, the real answer is...
难得呀，要不要去飞一飞？
It's Venti!
Are you serious? No.
Yeah. But yeah, it's Venti,
Oh my goodness.
Obviously,
I don't know why.
kind of a trick
Why did I
because,
think
like,
that?
Venti has a very feminine voice. So, yeah, it's Venti.
I mean, the logic
想
was
接着听下
sound,
去的
but the
话
answer.
送我一个苹果吧。
Yeah, it's great.
动身吧，旅行者。异世的诗篇还在等着我们呢。
Venti's Chinese voice is so nice. I don't know if any of you guys have heard the Chinese voice actors do like fan songs, like they sing songs as their characters. And Venti's is like still one of my favorites. Venti's is still one of my favorites. But yeah, that's Slippery Bard. Oh man. All right, everyone, thanks for playing. Kahi, you got 2 out of 4. And everyone else, however well you did, congratulations. Another successful episode of Whose Voiceline, because Kahi didn't get them all right. And that's the important part. Is I was able to stump. Yes. So.
Well, you're going to love my riddles because I made them a little hard.
Oh no. Okay, so yeah, 2 out of 4 is actually killing it. So I mean, Kahi gets them mostly right most of the time, right? So all right, let's go ahead and switch over to riddles. Are you ready, Kahi, to do some riddles?
Riddle. Ready for riddles.
Riddle. A riddle for that. A riddle when you are. All right. Let me go ahead and switch up the vibe a little bit here. So for those of you wondering, I am using Stream Beats by Harris Heller on YouTube. It is a copyright-free collection of music, I believe made by Harris Heller, the streamer, and yeah, it's for free use for anyone that needs background music while streaming, etc., etc. It's not copyright-free. I mean, it's copyright-free, no copyrights, so you can use it for things like streaming if you're looking for music. So it's really, really great. I say you support Harris Heller if you ever get the chance. Okay. So, can you become a Beidou main this late in the game, RCL? You can always become a Beidou main. Beidou is welcome. Beidou's birthday is literally tomorrow. I mean, I think Beidou could not be happier if you switched. So, that's my take, though. I don't know. What do you think, Kahi? Is it too late to become Beidou main?
Well, everyone is, but they just don't know it or just have certain. Yeah, it's totally fine. You can come.
I like that. Okay, so remember, Kahi, to please talk really close to your microphone because it cuts out. So I need to hear your riddles. Okay.
Will do.
Okay. I believe I am ready when you are. Can everyone hear Kahi? Okay.
If I speak like this, I think I'm a little loud, but I will try my best to get close to the mic.
Yeah, just get really close, like, because it still sounds kind of far.
Okay, at this distance, is it okay? Can you hear me? Can you hear me all right?
Yeah, that's like perfect. If you can keep that the whole time, that'd be great.
All right. I think I understand like what's going on with my setup, but yeah, we'll talk about that later. So,
Okay.
4 riddles in no particular order or degree of difficulty. Starting off with our first one out of 4. I am known for wisdom and expertise, from domestic policy to delicacies. My taste in wine has long since waned, and a new drink seems to have me tame. Who am I?
Zhongli?
Oh, that was too easy.
Osmantius wine.
Okay, so I thought if I ever said the word tea, I thought that would give it away. Apparently not.
Oh, you're cutting out, Kahi. What?
I thought if I said tea, it would be the one that, gives it away. But apparently, just the word wine is the one that is more tied to his character.
I mean, like everything you said, like knowledge, like he's known for wisdom. What was it? Like your taste in wine has waned or something like that. So it just sounds like it's been a long time. Yeah, I got serious Zhongli vibes from that one.
Okay, wow.
Oh, maybe we should give people some time to answer too.
Well, yeah, I'm pretty sure they got that one too. If it was that easy,
okay,
I'm sure it's easier for them.
Well,
but
just in case, I won't look at the chat
for this one. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right, so we'll do a little delay for this next one. And so, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Officially on record, I do not exist. Never meet me, or met me, my colleagues insist. You don't meet me, I meet you, and leave no evidence of the struggle that ensues. I have some scars, truth be told. Hard to see under this mantle I stole. Who am I?
I have my answer, but if you want people to guess.
Let's take a look at chat and
Do you want to do what I did, like 3, 2, 1, go, or something? Because I don't want people to answer for other people when people are still thinking.
Well, I'm okay with
It's up to
people
you.
posting their answers. I mean, sometimes people need like a little. Sometimes people.
Oh, couldn't understand you. What?
Sometimes people put an answer just to throw other people off track. So I want to still kind of leave that curveball available.
Okay, and let me know when I can answer.
Okay, if you have your answer, I'm gonna probably wait for maybe one more answer. Okay, So Josh, if you know, who do you think this is?
Yelon.
And what makes you say Yelon?
She doesn't exist.
It is Yelan.
Who is it?
Yelan officially
Okay, great.
does not exist because, like, on her story, her character profile, she works with Ningguang, but not for Ningguang. They have a history together, but she's not on any official document or roster, but performs jobs and tasks for her. So yes, officially, she doesn't exist.
Yeah.
All right, we're already at 2 out of
Yelan.
4. Yelan's such a
Yeah.
great character. Okay. All right, next one. You ready for the next one?
Go for it.
My research has broad application. Elemental creation.
Wait. I can't hear you.
Okay, hold on. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, much better.
Okay. My research has broad applications. Flowers, bones, elemental creations. My curiosity knows no bounds, especially when my experiments confound. As a creator, inventor, and avid reader, I wish I named my experiments better. Who am I?
Okay, one more time.
So, my research has broad. My curiosity.
Wait. You cut off. Start over.
Still? Okay, still cutting off? Okay, if I speak over here.
Hello?
If I speak right here, can you hear me?
Yeah, it seems okay right now.
Okay, give me 1 second. I want to double check my audio.
There's also
Okay.
like maybe an internet thing involved because like your voice goes kind of robot-y sometimes. Yeah,
It's
like right now
it's
it's just like
possible.
super robot-y.
Yeah, I mean, because well, there's bad weather around here, so it could
Oh no.
it could be a mix of me and Discord.
Yeah, right now because my connection is green, but I hear you're like a robot. So.
Yeah, and I went red and orange. So
Oh no. Yeah,
good
I
down
can't hear. Okay, how about can you type
Can you
it?
hear me now?
Can you type it in
kinda
Discord to me?
in and out.
No, you're like I'm losing you, man. I'm losing you, Kahi. Hang in there, Kahi. Yeah, before it wasn't robot-y, but now it's robot-y. And you're just like, it's like an internet thing.
Okay, but now
You're a robot.
same thing.
Can you
So,
leave the call and come back?
Oh yeah, let me try.
Waiting for Kahi. These live things are really hard to do, guys. but yeah, we'll do our best to get everything ship shape in the future. I don't know. Maybe Kahi just installed like new stuff. Maybe Kahi needs a wired connection.
Can you hear me?
Kind of. You talk?
Okay, if I talk at this volume, can you hear me okay?
Seems okay.
Does it seem worse than before?
It's better than a second ago.
Okay, hold on.
But it is going robot-y randomly.
Yeah. A lot of rain around here as well as this weird USB mic thing, so hold on. Can you still hear me?
Worst case, you can just like if you want to send it in the Discord, I can read it. Then I can try to answer it. Just so everyone can also hear it.
Alright, I'll send it to you because my audio is just weird.
Okay, but do your best to I'll read it and then I will try to answer it. And then I think you can have enough internet to answer me back. Okay, so let's see. Kahi's gonna send me the third riddle. Oh no, it's the same riddle. The same riddle. Wait. Oh no, this is the third one. Right. So it was Zhongli, and then it was Yelan. So now it's okay. My research has broad applications: flowers, bones, elemental creations. My curiosity knows no bounds, especially when my experiments confound. As creator, inventor, and avid reader, I wish I named my experiments better. Who am I? Okay, so I would just want to confirm, but like I do have an idea who this is. Do you want to let people guess first or what?
We already had some guesses until my audio started getting weird.
Okay, so can I guess?
Go ahead.
Sucrose?
It is Sucrose. Yes. What gave it away?
Yeah, she has terrible experiment names.
Yes. It's all just regular random numbers. Numbers and letters.
Yeah, that's great.
Okay.
Do you have one more?
Yep. One last one.
Okay, you can hear me fine, right?
I can hear you fine, but like
Okay,
apparently
great.
just upload is horrible.
Right. Okay, can you do your best to just try reading it through once, and then I'll read through it.
Okay. If I talk like this, can you hear me all right? Because my internet seems to be pretty stable.
Yeah, it seems okay.
All right. For this last one, hopefully my mic doesn't give out too soon. So,
Okay.
Guardian is what my people call me. Appropriately describes my responsibility. An arbiter, negotiator, interrogator. Names like these would deter outsiders. I am not blessed by a god. This is not a prayer. This is a warning. Do not see me become a slayer. Who am I? Josh, are you talking right now? Because
No, I'm thinking.
Oh, okay, cool. I thought my headphones went out now. Like, come on, really?
No, I'm thinking.
Okay, Josh, do you want to read it out one more time from your side?
Oh, yeah, sure. Guardian is what my people call me. Appropriately describes my responsibility. An arbiter, negotiator, interrogator. Names like these would deter outsiders. I am not blessed by God. This is not a prayer. This is a warning. Do not see me become a slayer.
Any guesses you have? Does this lean towards one person or another?
Shao?
Is that your final answer?
Wait, an arbiter, negotiator, interrogator? No, I just like went to like Guardian Yaksha, but like that's not the only kind of guardian there is. I am not a arbiter, negotiator, interrogator. Interrogator? Sino?
Is that your
Sino.
final answer?
Final answer.
You were close. It is Candace.
Candace! Guardian! That's... Oh my gosh. Okay, got it. I see.
She's referred to as the guardian of Aru village. Arbiter, negotiator, interrogator. We definitely saw the interrogator during the Archon quest when we first met her. But yes, Sino, very, very close. But I think, was it Sino that learned technique from Candace? Because she was interrogating people? Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. No. Candace learned technique from Sino.
Oh, is that true? I thought it was the other way around.
No, I think it's because because Sino's scary. but
I would
then
say
after
Candace
that,
is a little scarier.
Yeah, I think that was it. I think it was like that.
Yeah. All right. Well, 3 out of 4. That's still good.
Woo!
You win this round.
Okay, Kahi. Before we move on to community discussion question, I have a riddle for you.
Ooh, all right. Fire away.
I made it like right before the podcast. Okay, it's just one. I wanted to make more, but I didn't have time. Okay, ready?
Yeah, these are fun. Go ahead. I'm all ears.
A man of few words, a piercing gaze. By violence he would not be fazed. Comes and goes without a sound. With one whisper you would be found. His strength of all the legends speak, but no one knows he's weak to a certain sweet.
Zhao, and
Who
it's
is it?
almond tofu.
I wasn't asking you what the sweet was, but yeah.
Yeah, that one definitely. And all the ringing tones of Zhao. Yes, one whisper and he will find you. Yes, I'm sure there's only one person that could do that.
Is that your final answer?
I'm gonna say yes.
Okay, what does the chat say? Does the chat agree with you? Or does the chat shun you?
Well, I saw someone said also almond tofu, but Kaching says Al-Haytham. Piercing gaze. I don't know. I mean, he has a look. Has to be Zhao. Yeah. Are we correct?
Yeah, it's Xiao.
Yeah, it's Zhao.
Yeah, I mean, it was like I wanted to start with like easier and then make harder riddles too, but I only had time to make the easier one. So
Yeah. Well, the thing is,
man.
that's it can actually be a good thing because it also forces us to kind of think more about the character when we are forced to use different, lesser, or like more uncommon ways to describe someone, but we're describing something deeper because it forces us to research. It lets us really get get reminders of who they are, how they act, and how they behave. It also kind of gets us thinking about like what makes them unique or stand out, but or maybe how they're similar. So it's a good way of getting like research done or getting a thought process out. But yeah, like when I'm forced to use words that aren't the normal like typical words, like if I wanted to describe Zhongli's personality, I can't really use words like wise because we all know that. What is a way to describe Zhao that people aren't familiar with? But it is still Zhao, and that's correct. So it allows us to approach from a different angle. Really good investigative, I guess, investigative technique, I guess you could say.
Yeah, I don't know. I just wanted to try it, so it's fun. But
All
yeah,
right.
thanks, Kahi.
Ooh, that's fun. All right.
Okay.
Last but not least, our final segment.
Yes.
Would you like to introduce this one?
Yes, so our last segment is the community discussion question. So for those, we kind of mentioned it earlier, but this week our community discussion question is actually, if we see Jet and Babel again, what do you hope will happen next? Now, clearly we have not finished this quest line, and we'll have to dance around this question a little bit. But for those of you that finished up to the Dirge of Bilquis quest, now be honest out here, if you haven't gone past that, if you only did up to the Eternal Oasis, do you have a something like, do you have an idea of what you hope will happen next? Now, Kahi, I actually cannot answer this question because I know what happens next.
Okay, so I can't either then.
Yeah. I mean, but you don't know what happens next.
Yeah.
So what do you hope will happen next?
I would obviously be wrong in all accounts, but I mean, I can still speculate. I was hoping that if we see Jet and Babel again, it would be either the refreshing or the revitalization of the Tanit village, or they somehow become a threat to the city because now they have competent leadership and they have technology. They're the only ones that were able to somehow control the ancient construct. That itself is a really formidable weapon. So they could negotiate for the entirety of all the Eremites, and of course they can amass a bigger army. They become a really serious threat if they ever teamed up. Because the Eremites are already really formidable, like combat-wise, and if you were to unite them and have like a nuclear deterrent option, they can be some serious bad guys.
Yeah. Did we have any other answers? Let's see here. So
Yeah, let's take a quick look.
from our Spotify, we had some answers of. Let's see. So
Wonder how many
James
of them-
says, I don't know, I'd like to see them battle enemies like real NPCs, like the real NPCs. Also, I'm so unlucky. Got Mona on standard, lost 50-50 to Chi-Chi, recommend Yanfei for 4-star main DPS, hashtag Sayu. Okay. Charlie says, hashtag I don't do quests. Okay, well, you're missing out on a lot of content there, Charlie. Primo Gem is God says, I haven't done the quest at all, but I wish they were playable. Yes, I wish they were playable too.
Same.
Yeah, so not sure story-wise, but I like how NPCs fight with you in parts of the quest. Using enemy models for them means that they have combat animations already made. Yeah, I mean, the fact that they fight with you is like a really nice potential thing. Like Kahi was, like you were talking about earlier, right? Like, what if they were playable? Like, I mean, put a lot of work into making their designs really nice. Oh, I like Kaching's answer in the chat. Babel's team creates an army to raid the Fatui, or something, or the Eremites or something.
Oh my god, yeah, Team Snow
Babel's
versus
army.
Team Sand.
Will
Can you
join
imagine?
Babel's army?
Snow versus Sand, that'd be great. Good duality.
I'm a right? So let's see. An interaction between Babel and Jet and Al-Haytham and Sino, creating an agreement between the tribes and the academia for both military and research purposes. Then progressing to Jet 5-star and Babel 4-star. Yeah.
Oh, okay,
That's the
I
answer
like that.
Kahi wants.
I do like that.
Literally the answer Kahi wants.
Yeah, but more
I
political.
think you asked this question just to hear that answer.
Yes.
And let's see. Yeah, okay, I'm not gonna read that one. Or should I? Nah. Okay. That's funny. Someone says, like, what do you hope happens next? Like, I hope Peachy. Oh, Peachy said that hope they die, smiley face, like in every Genshin quest. Oh, sad. I don't wanna say that they'll die. That's a little too much.
Well, don't some of the Aranara?
Yeah. You know,
Shame.
Genshin quests. What about is there anything on let's see here, on Discord? I believe there was some stuff. So let's look at the, where is it? Community question. Here we go. Oh yes, this is where Kahi was like, there's more? Yeah. Oh yeah, and Peachy also said here, they'll die like every world quest. Jet gets a glow up and becomes a playable character on the banner, then receives her own story quest. Alright, Ashera, I like that thinking. Right? Asiela in the chat. Thank you very much. Let's see. Oh, I like this answer from Asama Senpai. I would like to see them in the anime, especially if it turns out that it's not going to be the Traveler story. I think it's going to be the Traveler story, but it would be really interesting to see like a side episode based off of this quest. I think that would be really cool. So
Yeah, because they have enough like material to make an anime about everything. Side quests, just like little parts of the world. They could do everything. They could have their own little what does it call it? Not anthology, or just a series of random stories throughout the entire universe of Genshin. They could totally do it. There's enough there. Like a universe.
6-hour side episode. Imagine they have the whole quest as like an episode. It just takes 6 hours to watch.
Or actually get to see what Ying Air sounds like.
Oh yeah. Oh, so I think I mentioned this in the episode that we did about talking about when the anime was revealed, but like in Grand Blue, another phone game, Grand Blue Fantasy, they have the ability to choose like male and female, but in the anime, the canon character is the male, and so the anime mostly follows the male, but then they have extra anime episodes of like side stories but featuring the female as the lead. So it's like a what if episode, but featuring the opposite gender character as the as the main character, like because the canon character is one, but the other character doesn't exist. So in Genshin, like whichever sibling you are is the opposite of the other sibling. But in Granblue, you just pick the sibling, you just pick the gender you want, and then that character is the main character. The other character doesn't technically show up except for with some wibbly wobbly timey wimey stuff in the fighting game. But other than that, it was really cool to see like fans of the female main character getting episodes that, you know, show what if that character was canon instead. I think it'd be really cool to get like Lumine episodes if Aether ends up being the canon main character. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I don't think the anime will be the Traveler story, so people don't get the plot spoiled when they just want to watch the anime. It might be pre-Traveler. You think so? I don't know. I feel like they might just make it like Traveler stuff.
Yeah, well, think of it like this. It will have to be, it's either going to be canon or not canon. So if it's not canon, they can do whatever they want. And it's going to be great. They can put whatever they want, all the characters they want in it. If it is canon, it looks like it is going to be canon from what I can just see of it. But if the Traveler is obviously going to be involved because it is a, you know, both of the character models are in it. If you have to have a Traveler focused story, I think having a non-canon Traveler focused story wouldn't really do the game justice, because now when people play it, it is not what they saw in the anime. I feel like it would have to be, I almost feel like it has to be canon, like it has to be what it was experienced in the game, or at least like a little bit more flushed out, or maybe a retelling but still true. I just feel like it would be counterintuitive to like have the anime go this way and the game go this way, because even like anime based on games go in the same direction. Even like that's how Japan does it. That's how a lot of games already do it. It doesn't look like they show enough different things to warrant it's going to be a completely different story, even though they could. I just feel like it makes more sense to be a truthful story, even if it's a slight retell.
Right. Yeah, so we'll see what they do. I mean, there's so many possibilities, right? But yeah, in this case, yeah, I think that's it. Thanks for answering our discussion question. Like I said, so for those of you that are curious, if you have not done the quests yet, you need to do a bunch of different quests to finish off the Jet and Babel story. Oh, it's like I have this Chinese voices on. Hold on. So yeah, so you would need to do the story. I believe the last quest is called Her Foes Rage Like Great Waters, and to do that you must complete the Golden Slumber, and then the Golden Slumber quest, the Dirge of Bilquis, Rejoice with Me, For What Was Lost Is Now Found, Tadla the Falcon, and Apocalypse Lost. And then you can start Her Foes Like Rage Like Great Water. So there's a bunch of other world quests you have to complete before doing this.
one quest away because I just finished Tadla.
Okay, so yes, so it's really important.
Okay, I thought those were just weird side quests because she wasn't involved.
Yeah, well, not directly, but yeah. Okay. So let me, for those of you that haven't done it yet, we will hopefully talk about it soon. So go ahead and do it if you haven't already. But I think that our next, if the schedule is according to schedules up until now, most likely we will have the live stream this week. So I will probably live stream my reaction to the live stream. So if that happens, then I'll see you there. But then we will probably talk about the live stream as our next podcast episode as the main thing. So hopefully there's a lot to talk about. I'm really excited for the next parts of the story. And yeah, so hopefully that's what comes next. As far as our new question, it's kind of a little more generic, but I want to hear your answers in detail. So this week's question is, what is your favorite weekly boss to fight and why? So these are the big domains. This is like the the wolf boss, the Raiden Shogun, the Scaramouche, the Tartaglia, Azdaha. Like, there's so many now, and we'll probably be getting another one soon. But definitely wait until I post the question and then go ahead and answer it on there. And I want to hear in detail why. Why is that your favorite weekly boss to fight? Okay, so make sure to answer that question on either our Discord, Spotify, or by replying to our Twitter post about the episode. Okay, I believe that wraps up the show for today. Kahi, do you have any closing words for our audience?
As always, ad astra abyssosque.
Thank you guys for listening, and if you have time, please leave us a comment and a review. We'd really appreciate it. Don't forget to subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you're listening. Follow us on Twitter, once again, at Genshin Guys Pod. My Twitch here, twitch.tv/JSide. My Twitter at JSide Gaming. Kahi's at Kahiao, Khiyao. And thank you for waiting. Thank you for helping go through the technical difficulties with us. We'll do our best to next time have it go as smooth as possible. Of course, weather conditions, etc. pending, but really appreciate everyone who showed up. Definitely invite your friends to the next podcast. We can have more people doing stuff. I'm thinking to make more interactive things similar to like the riddles and similar to the Voiceline stuff. And then we will do some live streams that are not podcast recordings where we will do co-op things as well. So yeah, we're gonna have a lot of fun. Just make sure you follow my channel right here, and you follow our Twitter as well as my Twitter, and then join our Discord, which should be in my about page here on Twitch. So thank you everyone for coming to the live podcast recording, and we will see you all very soon. Thank you so much, and 星としてを目指せ。
Enjoy.